My name is Eugene Kraan. I'm a software developer for Seacrew. I work for the Anker insurance organization. And my main role is the web front end development and the back end development of the client server. The Seacrew application is a software solution for the maritime industry. In the organization where I work, Anker Insurance, we insure people. We do legal counseling, do travel insurance, those kind of things. What we do with the product is payrolling, planning, maintaining the crewing information, and most importantly, their documents, if they are allowed to sit on the ships where they work on. The software is used globally. It's used on ships, at crewing agents like in Manila, Philippines, Holland. So we have a lot of customers, thousands of crewing agents, of members in the software. So it's quite a large application for us to maintain. It's quite a critical application for the business process because when ships are at a port and there is a crew change, everything on board, every people that gets on board has to have the right documents like visa, training certificates, all those kind of things. Our software ensures that everyone that goes on board has the right documentation, and our software, guards that. I've been working with Uniface for 16 years, more or less. Also worked with Visual Studio products for 15 years. So a lot of experience in all kind of areas. Uniface is a really simple environment to get quickly results. When you create a model, then everything is already set up. When you do it in other languages, you have to set up your classes, your properties, your functions. You get that all for free when you develop your model in Uniface. So you can focus on the actual functions itself that you need to create, which is a big time saver. So I really like to develop in Uniface on the back end to do all those kind of things because you can have a small team and do the same as that you need with a large team in other languages. Selecting the right partner in the process is mainly based on the size of your team and the end goal that you have. When you are working mainly with data-driven applications, uh, then it's quite logical to get a low-code environment where you enter the model and that you can maintain that with only a few people. Yeah, when I look at the difference between the Uniface versions, then it's because I've ended my development career in Uniface at around Uniface 7. Um, that was completely one closed ecosystem at that time. Um, Now, 2.5 years ago, I started with Uniface 9, and it was quite an eye-opener. It has web services, it has normal services. You can integrate C# DLLs quite easily. We do through a signature table that wasn't available in the past. It has front-end development for web. It was quite a big step to see what they all accomplished in those 10 years that I didn't work with Uniface. So there's a huge difference between older versions and the latest version. Well, they have Uniface 10 now, but so it was quite good to see that they developed so much in such a short time. We are definitely planning to go to Uniface 10. Actually, we've scheduled that for next year, but for us it's quite difficult because we have a lot of customers all over the world. And they run the client server application, so we have to install the software there. And well, it takes about 2 years to get all those customers on a new version. So that's something we still struggle with, how to do that. When we look at other development technologies that we are using now with the application, is mainly focused on Visual Studio. We are using C# to create our DLLs that we integrate with our web version and our client server version. You may think of Word integration, Excel, PDF, zip files. Those things we all do in native libraries in C#. We create DLLs, therefore we import them in signature tables, and then we can use those functionalities, Outlook integration. So it's a best of both worlds. We can use the easy code in Uniface, and we can do the more Windows specific things in C# and integrate those, well, through the signature table. It works really good. It's quite easy to do. Our main reason to use Uniface as a development technology was that we started 20 years ago developing Seacrew in Uniface. So we had 20 years of software in those environments. So it was quite an easy choice to use Uniface for the web version. So that we can reuse our existing software. When we look at the web version, we are using the DSP functionality quite heavily. Actually, our complete application is based on DSP technology. It was quite a struggle to start with that when we started it, because we didn't have any experience with DSPs in Uniface. But what we did was using the Visual Sharp knowledge that we had and apply that same technology to the DSP functionality and set it up correspondingly. So yeah, it works quite well. The web skills that we needed, like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript libraries, JavaScript, we developed that over the years. When we developed lots of other applications, they hired me for especially the front end development part. And I had a lot of experience in the Visual C# environment doing those kind of things. So we didn't have to think about how to program in JavaScript, in Bootstrap, jQuery. The knowledge was already there because we did lots and lots of projects in ASP.NET and C#. When we start the web development process, we needed a framework. Unfortunately, that wasn't available in Uniface. You have to develop the framework yourself. So what we did was we took the most common JavaScript libraries like jQuery, Parsley for the front-end validation, and some other more less important front-end things, and developed a framework for that. What we did was we created a main page which consists of 3 DSP containers: a menu container, a navigation container, a login logout container, and the main screen where we load the DSPs dynamically in. And we created the framework completely on that. So first we had to determine how our application would look like. So we said from, hey, you go from a list to a detail screen, and if you need extra information on the detail screen, it comes up in a pop-up window. When we determined that, then we created the framework ourselves, and now we can create quite fast every form we need because the framework is ready in Uniface. But we had to develop it ourselves because it wasn't available in Uniface at the time that we started. One thing that I would like to add is that it's advisable to contact other Uniface companies that already have some experience. We did that with Amion, another company in Groningen that have quite a lot of experience with developing web applications. And they helped us a lot in the start of the project with their experience from giving us tips of what we can do and what we shouldn't do. That saves us a lot of time. So we did develop everything ourselves, but they give quite some good tips, and I can advise other people to look at other companies too, how they did it. The new web application was delivered in time and in budget, but as soon as we started, we were enthusiastic and thought, hey, let's add that. And now it's a really big application, which has Gantt charts, chartings, completely flexible data tables. It's really impressive. At first, it was all everything was finished on time and in budget, but we are still developing it, and we develop more and more and more. When we look at the future, we are going to use web services more and more. We want to have apps applications on the phones. Also, we want to connect other front-end techniques like Angular to Uniface at the back end. So more and more of our software will be transferred to web service-based applications in Uniface. An advice for other companies to when they start their web project is to set up a good storyboard up front. How would a application look like? Get a front-end developer in your team. That's really important because well, you will face lots of issues on the front end thing that you need to solve, and that takes a lot of time, and a front end developer can do that quite easily. And talk to other Uniface customers to see what their experiences are. That saves also quite some time.